Goof. Good morning, and welcome. This is episode number 40. Can you believe it? Episode number 40 of Coffee with Canvas Consultancy. And today we're going to be talking about how can you start a business in health and fitness. Now, to do that, I don't have a business in health and fitness. So like always on this show, we've brought in the experts. And in a moment after this quick introduction, we'll introduce you to Amber. We'll dig into her story, her tips, and everything that you need to know if you're interested in starting your own business in this industry. So without further ado, let's get into this quick introduction. Amber, good morning.
Hey guys, how you going?
We're going very, very well. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Another early start, but we're so used to it by now, so it's all good.
I was going to say we're definitely going to talk about early starts and the secret sauce there. Before we get into that, Amber, one, thank you for coming on. Appreciate your time. And number two, I'd love to know that origin story, that comic book number one. Is fitness something you've always been interested in? And if not, when did that start for you?
Yeah, definitely not. I was always a really energetic, crazy kind of child, but I was the drama kid off to the side, or the
no way
music person, stuff like that. And
what did you play, or what did you do in music or drama?
Singing. I sing country and jazz. So one of those hidden karaoke comes out situations. But yeah, definitely not a fitness buff. I don't have any hand-eye coordination or ball skills or anything like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I just I got into it when I got older, and then my metabolism hit. I put on a bunch of weight, and then I read a bunch of studies online about how you could lose weight from all these crazy little diets. You basically cut out everything, and I pretty much did that for 2 years. I basically ate nothing. I was about 45 kilos, so in reference about 10 kilos lighter than I am now. For nearly 2 years, I didn't eat McDonald's, chocolate, anything fun. I didn't eat it. It was stock standard veggie meat. And
that's probably a good point. When you say I didn't eat anything for 2 years, was it cutting out certain stuff, or you went crazy and just didn't eat?
I have a lactose and gluten intolerance now from cutting it out. That's super common. I deal with that with females all the time.
Yeah. And cutting out the junk. Is that what you mean?
You just don't have it for so long, and then you can't have it again. Your body has to get used to it again. And
how, knowing that the Golden Arches are a pretty enormous business and lots of people do buy that food, what did it take for you to cut that out? I'm always interested in when's that moment? When did Amber BC and Amber AD whatever, when did that change, or what catalyzed that?
I think I started looking into people that I respected on social media and on the internet and what they were eating and stuff like that, which has come a long way as well, because back in the day, fitness models just posted that they ate chicken and broccoli.
Yes.
So we now know you can't live off that, no matter how much you try. But now you have Instagram people or fitness people in general that are now, explaining you can eat fun things as well, and everything can fit into your diet. So it was kind of learning my way through that. I just yo-yoed up and down, back up 10 kilos, back down 10 kilos, until a point where my dad, he was a powerlifter for Australia, and he said, I'm going to take you into the gym. We're going to do this. And then I kind of realized you can't eat nothing and train, because you'll pretty much pass out the gym, something I did a few times.
Really? Wow, that's a cautionary tale.
Definitely. It definitely gets that bad. Vomiting in the bathrooms, passing out on the gym floor. Not a good time. And then I slowly just started building muscle. I started researching new ways to do that, what to eat to fuel my body so that wouldn't happen, because how embarrassing is that as well? And not a good look in the slightest.
It's just unsafe and scary, right?
I just was okay, this is it for me. And people started asking me what have you been doing, etc. And I just decided this is what I needed to do. I needed to help other people understand their body and how to utilize it correctly, not make the same mistakes.
I love that. In terms of seeing it in yourself, I'm such a big proponent of, I don't believe you can sell something that you haven't done. I don't believe you and there's so much
Definitely.
in this world of like, I don't know, you probably get it too. It's like, oh, so you're like a life coach, or and it's like, no,
Oh, man, definitely.
it's killer, but I
Yeah.
think and nothing against, if someone's got a life coach and they're good at it, whatever. But when it comes to, you've solved this problem for yourself first, but had to kind of like
100%.
make a bunch of mistakes along the way.
I've been training for about 8 years. So I've been in the industry for like a year or so. So yeah, 7 years of mistakes to get to this point.
It's a great ratio, 7 years of mistakes to get there, right?
Yeah, when people say, how do I train? How do I look like you? How do I do what you're doing? And I'm like, don't be so hard on yourself. This has taken 8 years.
Yes. And I think that's the beautiful point on patience there. When did it, in terms of you learning these lessons for yourself and then going, oh, actually, I've got something that I could teach others.
Yeah.
Like, did you have any background, obviously, as you say, in music and drama, but did you have any background in teaching or coaching, or how did you turn what worked for you into something that you could teach other people?
Look, I've always been that public speaker. I have always wanted that teacher role. I was in childcare for like 8 years. I felt like it was just like turning this into working with adults and learning how to speak with them. Like, I've always been that vibrant, like, let's figure this out. Let's talk it through. Like, how can we do this? Let's sort it out. And I believe like motivation and believing in yourself is such a big part of it. Like, as a personal trainer, you are a motivator, and you are, as you were saying before, you kind of a life coach too. Yeah. I have people that come and train with me just to have a therapy session. So that's another big thing that I'm going to be touching on the rest of this year, is trying to learn some more skills for that kind of thing as well, as I'm studying nutrition coaching as well. It's all in this little bubble. Like, you just put on so many hats.
Yeah, no doubt. And what are some of those things of when they start to become, I'm interested in, did you go straight from, okay, I've sorted this out for Amber. I mean, to be fair, 7-8 years, but you like fought the fight. Yeah. Was it in terms of that first client, and I guess that idea of starting a business in something actually becoming, oh, wow, I can maybe pay the rent with what I'm learning here.
Yeah.
Did you start with friends and family? Was it someone who followed you on Instagram that reached out? Was it someone at the gym who was like, hey, I'm here every day, you're here every day, and there's a difference between the results we're getting?
Yeah.
Like, how did it start?
To be honest, it was about building my Instagram around it to start off with.
Yeah.
I originally had no interest of becoming a personal trainer. I literally just learned so that I could know, and that when friends and family asked me, I could be like, look, here's what I did, here's what I know, instead of giving them random information, which is what I got when I started. And that's why it took so long. So originally it was just for me and to help my friends and family. And then someone kind of said to me, like, why aren't you doing this as a job? And I was like,
interesting.
I don't know, like, that's a good idea. And when I started posting fitness content to my Instagram, I was always telling people I'm not a personal trainer. Like, I'm qualified, but I'm not like doing that yet. And I had girls, mostly girls. I have a few male clients as well, but just throwing themselves at me like, please, like, let me know what to do. Like, I need help. And that's when I started looking into gyms that I could work out of. And it was a cross between, I have probably about 70% of my clients are from Instagram, but 30% seeing me in the gym. Look, I need a hand, or doing something in the gym, and I've gone over and been like, hey, can I just quickly help you with this? And then they've gone like, oh yeah, of course. And I'm like, that's like, I'll just show you what to do. And then next thing I know, I get a message, hey, thanks for helping me. Like, would love to, continue on with this. So it's really about putting yourself out there. That's the biggest thing.
I love that. In terms of putting yourself out there on Instagram, there's two things I really want to talk to you about on this note. One is just this idea of fitness on Instagram and body image and all that kind of stuff. And just, I'd love to hear your take on it. But the second thing, I love that it's such a clever way to say, and I think it's just so authentic of, I'm not a personal trainer. You've almost like Jedi mind tricked everyone. Like, I'm not a personal trainer. This, like, I'm qualified, just like side note, but like, I'm doing this for me. And then that interesting message of like, my message isn't swipe up to get my 10% off discount at the start.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to sell, you got to pay the rent. But like at the start, it's like, actually, you can't pay for this service. This is just for me. And it's almost like it's building that kingdom within oneself and then sort of opening the doors and saying, all right, but
I'm ready.
Now, so
I'm not
that's
going to
interesting.
screw up on you. I'm going to screw up on me first. And I'll work out the kinks. And then, like I say to my clients all the time, when they try a new exercise or a new workout and they go, this sucks. And I go, I know. And I'm like, I did this yesterday, man. Like, it's horrible. It's so great. Like, every exercise I've given any client ever, I've done on me 5 times first minimum. Like I've ironed out those kinks. So if they say this is hurting my back, I go, okay, change to this. This is hurting my knees, change to this. Like there's always an alternative move or something that's going to help them without, injuring themselves or anything like that.
I love it. I love it. A quick question for you. Christina has jumped in and said, health and fitness world has really picked up in the last few years and become quite dense. How do you stand out from others? And maybe this is where we can get onto that Instagram world of in a world where everyone has an iPhone, from 13-year-olds to people who are taking bikini selfies on Instagram at all sorts of ages.
Exactly.
You do you,
Yeah.
How do you stand out, and how do you do it in a way that's authentic to what you believe in and what you stand for and what you can be like proud of?
Definitely develop who you're going to be on Instagram. So for me, it was always about balance, like not getting on those crazy, stupid yo-yo diets. Like I have a pizza tattoo on my arm. Like I'm all about everything balanced. Like whatever works for you, works for you. I'm the biggest advocate for don't just jump on keto because it's keto. Don't just jump on dairy-free because it's dairy-free. I'm all about doing what works for you, what works for your metabolism, what works for your lifestyle, for your stresses. If you've got a young family, I'm not going to tell you like, oh, you have to eat every 2 hours and you have to be up at 6 a.m. exercising for 2 hours. It doesn't work for you. That's fine. I completely understand that. But for me, it's just been giving genuine information that I know works, not just giving you a cookie cutter thing that I found the internet posted like this works. Does it work? I don't know. I'm going to test it out for a little while first. But yeah, individual information and just giving genuine information. Like life stresses me out too. So I'm going to let you know that. I'm not just going to be like, oh, life's daisies right now. Like life is hard. That happens, So I guess it's developing who you are as a person on Instagram, promoting that, not changing to suit something else.
For sure. And in terms of, only because like not having a big Instagram audience myself, but having built up a community on LinkedIn, one of the things I love about LinkedIn is it's such a positive place because there's sort of that professional twinge to it. It's less like
people are going to send you hate on it. Yeah.
It's less like that. And I love that element. I wonder, from your experience on Instagram, depending on what you're comfortable sharing and what's true for you, is it in that comment section, is it all love? Is there the creepy dude message or creepy girl message? I don't know.
Creepy dude messages.
How do you deal with that when like your mission is you're helping your clients live a better life, and then you get the creepy dude message? Like, how do you handle that?
To be honest, I've developed a thick skin pretty quickly. To be honest, in the beginning, it used to annoy me. I even used to blast a few guys pretty hardcore, or even screenshot, post it straight up, like, this is what you get. The more professional and the more I've developed my business around it, simply ignore, block. I don't care if they post something inappropriate on my post, it's gone. I don't need other girls reading that and being afraid to put themselves out there because of getting that kind of reaction. Females have been really great towards me. I haven't developed anything like that. Males, it's always the fire emojis or little inappropriate comments or DMs. But you've just got to learn to ignore that. What you're doing is way more important. And if you actually believe, like I believe in my message so much. So if I get negative comments, I'm like, okay, I'll reflect on what they're being negative about and we can work on that. But I'm never going to be like, oh, I should take that down, or I should, like, why have I put that out there? There's a reason, right? Like, it's not just nonsense content. I've planned this. Like, I plan on my posts. This is up there for a reason. This is why I've done it. People feel a bit sad and tired in winter. We're going to post a fun summer thing. Like, get out there, do you? Like, I go for beach walks at 10 degrees for fun because I love it. Like, I don't care. Like, and that's the thing. If I'm not the person for you on Instagram, unfollow me and find someone that's going to be better for you to follow. I promote that all the time. If someone's giving you negative thoughts or not feeling good about yourself because of their content, unfollow them. Like, find the right content for you.
I love it. Yeah. Where do you think, obviously when we first crossed paths, and many people who might be watching might not know sort of the backstory, but when we first crossed paths, like living in a ski town at sort of like Bar Hop or whatever it was, and like life's changed a lot since then, and doing things that are very for purpose. And you mentioned like, your message. So where do you, I guess what I'd love to know from you, just in your words, without hopefully putting you on the spot, is like, what is that message? If you've got someone who's saying fitness is something that I've ignored until now, or it's something I used to do and I don't really do anymore, or it's something that I've always kind of wanted to do, and maybe this is the time to get into it. What is that? What is the message that you would like people to be thinking about or running through their brains coming into, especially the winter period in Australia, coming out of COVID, gyms reopening, all that, and beaches obviously reopening and all that fun stuff? Yeah, what is that message? How do you think about that?
So my biggest thing I've always said is promoting positive minds, bodies, and vibes. So it's about creating the best you in all areas. It's not just about a body. If you're trying to get a body and just lose 10 kilos, you can do that. You're probably going to put it back on, or you're going to be miserable and isolate yourself from family and friends and fun things. It's about working on you on the inside. The vibe you're giving off to people, your mental health is so important. The foods that you're eating, like, eating those things that are good for your body and still eating those things that are good for your mind. Like, so I say in the way of like my stir fries and when you have your oats and honey or my egg omelets and stuff like that, that's good for my body and that fuels me. So I can be the best athlete I can be the best trainer I can be the best friend, family member, etc. But then I have my 10-20% of fun food. This chocolate is good for my brain. It is making me happy. This pizza is making me happy. You know what I mean? So it's about developing the best you, what works for you. But yeah, it's not a body thing. It's mental, it's physical, and it's the vibes that you're giving out. That's why I've always promoted that message. So you need to understand it's going to take a while. But yeah, it's
I love
exactly
that.
Developing the best you. That's 100% it.
Developing the best you. Of those three, when people come to you, where do you think? Do you have people come to you for all of those different three? Do you have someone come to you of going obviously just speaking to you right now and the vibe is really clear. It's crystal clear the amount of thought and mindset that goes into this and everything you bring. And then you're in incredible physical shape. So when it comes to people approaching you for the first time, whether it's Instagram, friends, do you find it's more one thing than the other? Do people see you as it's so clear it's all three? Is anyone coming to you I just love your vibe? There's lots of people who are fit, but you've got a different...
I have clients that are that.
Yeah.
I have a few clients that are nurses, and especially lately they've been crazy. And they've said, I don't have a lot of time to work on my body, and that's cool. We'll develop something and, we'll just get you moving as much as you can. But they say that, I've been missing hanging out, being around you. I've missed this energy. It's been so stressful. I can just come in here and just switch off. And we laugh. A lot of my clients are now my friends. We get each other birthday presents and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's sweet. That little family that you create. I have one male that comes to me. He's probably, I think he's late 50s. And we literally have therapy sessions. He could 100% train on his own, but he doesn't have someone to talk to. He has a daughter around my age who doesn't really talk to him, and he comes in just to chat. Honestly, we train hard and he smashes it every time. So good. But it is literally just someone to chat to. His mates don't understand. They're all in their 50s themselves and they don't talk about this stuff. So we talk about it, and I'm going to say that's the pure reason he comes to see me. He could 100% train himself. He's really fit. I have a few different people like that. It's all about people. Yeah, people come to me. I want that vibe. I want to be interested in the way that you are. I want that.
Yes.
And that's what I drive off by. If you come to me for a certain body goal and I'm not qualified in that, or I don't believe I can give you my best effort, I have a list of personal trainers, dietitians, positive health coaches that I will pass on to, because it's not my thing. But I think that's the biggest thing you have to understand as well. Not every client is right for you, and not every coach is right for you. So,
and in terms of the business, in terms of turning this into something that you've built the kingdom, you've opened the gates, people are flooding in. What is it like for you? Who is that sort of ideal client? If someone's listening and they're thinking, okay, mind, body, vibe, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Who is the person who, if you ever had that client that comes to you and you're exactly the sort of person I want to work with and help, or what is it about someone that makes them right for you or you right for them?
That they want change, but they don't need it right now. The person that wants to develop themselves over time. That's my favorite client. Most of my clients like that now. I've been so lucky that I've now been able to kind of choose my clients and have those people in, because I need that energy throughout the day as well. Every PT, if you've been a PT, you have those clients, they're really negative. They're I haven't dropped 5 kilos in a week. I don't understand what's happening. and you walk in that session, you kind of have to be like, hey, how are you today? Like,
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, and it can be, the different energies can be quite draining as well. So for me, that person is like, okay, I want to change my body shape. I want to build some muscle. I want to change my eating and some lifestyle tips. That's my vibe. We can work on that. My clients have water goals. They have sleep goals. Like,
Yes.
we talk about their diets. I refer them on to people if they need it. Like, they're interested in investing in themselves, because an investment is a long-term thing, right?
Yes.
You know, I'm not wanting you to spend your money and you get that product. That's not what personal training is. If you want to do that, honestly, I don't know, go spend money on liposuction or something. It's going to give you an instant result, and I'm definitely not telling people to do that.
I know you are.
Just saying.
Disclaimer, not recommending. Yes.
Not recommending, no.
Yes.
But that's your instant result, right?
Yeah.
And that's what people are kind of seeing out of personal training. So
it's the sugar high of solution that's come from the sugar high of the root cause of the problem.
Yeah, that's right. And you want those people that you are an investment. Your health is an investment. And if someone says to me, like, personal training is too much or this and that, I say, that's fine. Like, you can find different programs that you can work on. You're not ready to invest in your health as your number one right now. And that is okay.
Yeah.
If you're a family person, you have young children, like you're saving for a house, I understand that. But for me, my health is an investment. I have a coach that I pay for every single week. And for me, that's such a big thing. Like, I know I can message him and be like, help me with this, or what can I do with this? Like, I need that.
Yeah.
And I look for that. But yeah, invest in your personal trainer and you'll get great results.
I love it. From the business standpoint, if people are starting a business, where did this become something? Was this something you did on the side on top of another job at the start? Yeah. Or how did it start to transition into the, like, oh, this is what I do now?
Yeah, I started it with 2 other jobs.
Amazing.
So
classic Whistler approach to life.
60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah.
15, 16 hour days. And it was definitely a side project. You will not walk into any gym and get 20 clients to start off with at the beginning. I started with about 3 or 4. They're still with me to this day, which that's awesome.
How cool is that? Congrats.
I love them so much. And yeah, I still see them every week. But it was working. I was doing childcare and I was working at a supplement store, Australian Sports Nutrition. Places every now and again, they still call me up for shifts, which if I have a spare day, sometimes, but
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm that person who goes in for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, okay, see you, I'm gonna go.
I don't want to interrupt you. Did you ever meet Jeff Duke when you were in Canada, who runs Lifestyle Over Luxury or LL Supply? Does that name mean anything? Okay, he was on the show yesterday. It was so interesting because he was talking about this idea of he started this t-shirt, I always call it a t-shirt company only because I have all the t-shirts and hats, but like a lifestyle, activewear, jumpers, the whole deal, right?
Nice.
Very West Coast BC. And one of his top pieces of advice was what he wished he did was go and work for someone in the industry before starting a business in the industry. And then so it's so interesting.
That too.
It's so interesting. Yeah. One day later, you're like, I got a job at ASN, Australian Sports Nutrition. And then like, what did you, and I'm interested in that, as you were building the business, was it helpful working in ASN and seeing people and talking?
Oh my gosh, yeah, no idea. It was crazy.
Yeah, how so? Tell us about that.
So the biggest thing, get a job in the industry like that. Some people think that kind of job is a waste of time. It is amazing. All you do is talk to people about their goals.
Yeah.
People come in, the way I would sell them a product was find out their goals. And a lot of, like, I've got a few clients I've got a bunch of clients from working at ASN. But that's actually how the client, that's the male in his late 50s. He came in, was really lost. I don't know what to do. We talked about products. They weren't for him. At ASN, we're super lucky. You're not told to just push a bunch of products on. You actually find a product that works for them, whether they're missing protein or just greens or something with gut health. You're not told like, oh, give them a free workout and smash them with this and that. Like, you get to know a client and you do it that way. So I just talked to everyone in the industry, talked to clients. I got to talk to managers of gyms. I got to go and do promotions in the gyms. And when I was in there, you better believe I was talking to the head coach. I was talking to every personal trainer in there. I was talking to salespeople at the front. It's like, oh, how do you do that? How do you do this? Not knowing, I was finding out how to be a personal trainer. Like, once I figured that out, I went even harder with that. I would call up managers and be like, hey, I'm super interested in finding out how you run the club, this and that. And because I developed that friendship with them, they were so eager to let me know. And when I was coming into being a personal trainer and inquiring, I actually got 6 job offers. There's about, in Newcastle, there's probably about non-CrossFit gyms, probably about 8 or so. And I got offered by 6 of them.
Wow.
Without me inquiring, they offered me the jobs. So that was just from talking to them and getting that personality out there and being so interested.
I love, and I think that is such a good point, being interested.
Mm.
So much of Instagram and so much of people searching for jobs is trying to be interesting. And I love that idea of you going, I was more interested.
Personal training, you have to be interested in people. It's not about you. Maybe on Instagram it might be, but it's about them. How can I help you? You're you're in a service role.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. I'd love to know from you a little bit about some of the secret sauce. So there are lots of people who try to be personal trainers. There are lots of people who start businesses. We know in the business world, 10 years later, 4% of them even exist. That doesn't mean they're profitable. They're just hanging around. Yeah. Like, business is hard, and it's competitive. You know, if you're a client and you're going to pay $100 or whatever it is for a session, you know, you're going to want to see some return on investment. And you're going to want to see results, right? Yeah. So when it comes to standing out from the pack and just the realities of what you had to do, and I don't know, maybe had to do is the wrong thing, what you get to do, but how you do what you do. How do you stand out? How do you make sure that you're the best and that your clients get the results that they're striving for?
The biggest thing is don't just do the basics. Don't get your like personal trainer course and then that's it.
Yep.
Try and promote that you're the best, whatever. Jump on upskill as much as possible. I'll be always learning something new. I think that's really important to not only help your business, but to help your clients as well. It's about developing those connections with people, with the club managers, with other PTs, with the other people that I refer on to as well. I work with remedial masseuses, chiropractors, etc. We all refer. We're comfortable with referring because we know that the business is going to help our clients. So get to know the people in the fitness industry or in the industry that you're working in around you as well. As I said, continually upskilling, so you're always bettering yourself as a business. Always staying on top of the current information as well. I'm constantly on YouTube videos and websites and men's fitness and women's fitness, etc. That kind of thing. So it's all about just continually developing. You don't just become something and just stop. It is night after night. I'm on my phone. I now have those little blue light glasses. I'm on my phone till I go to bed. I wake up. First thing I do, check my emails. I check my clients. Like, it is a non-stop job. 100%. I'm up at, some mornings like 4:30 in the morning. Some mornings if I get to sleep in like 5:30. Amazing.
Amazing.
It's about 100%. If you have a business, it's your life now. Yeah. It is your life. If it's your business, you're not a worker. This is your little baby, and you don't just switch off. It's just.
You're going to be such a rock star. Like, hearing you talk about this, I'm just like, oh my God, when you're like on a massive stage talking to people about like, this is how you start a business. And like, there's such a clarity, you speak with such a clarity and a certainty about it. And I think it's really inspiring, honestly, but it's also really powerful and practical. And it's funny where some of these things, like even when you're talking about the recommendation, where my mind went was, if we're running a bar hop pub crawl in a ski town and you've got 50 people on it, the small talk you make, if people go, where do I go next? What do I do tomorrow night? What's like tracks do I ski? And what I started to realize doing that in London and Canada was that part of my commission, this wasn't in Whistler, but in London when I ran pub crawls, was half of my income was on referrals. So if I got a referral, the company or like a rating online or TripAdvisor or whatever, and I'd read all of them, obviously, because that's where my paycheck came from. And a lot of them said things like, had a great night, recommended we go to this after hours place. And we went there. And so I was like, if I know the best people to recommend people to, that immediately comes back and serves. But more importantly, they have a great night and they get good advice. And so it's so funny how,
and it's a good recommendation though. You're not going, I'll go to this place after hours. I get there, it's like little cricket. Like, it is a pumping place. It's great. You feel confident. So when you're telling those people, right, you're like, Man, it is so fun. So many good nights. Hey, you're going to love it. And
Yes.
they go there and they're already like, yes, it's going to be so good. This guy, he lives here and he loves it here. And
Yes.
they go in with that expectation, right? And then when they have a good night, they're like, oh, this is all thanks to that guy.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And then you're that person. You gave that great recommendation that you were comfortable in giving and you were super confident in it. And you made them believe it because you believe in it so much. It is about that. Like, I believe in myself and I'm going to make you believe in myself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then I'm going to make you believe in yourself. And then we're going to get those results.
I've never heard that articulated that way before. I believe in myself. I'm going to make you believe in myself. And then I make you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Now, I could literally talk to you all day about this stuff. I love it because it's just nice speaking to someone who, like, when you run an actual business and there's just a practicality that comes with that. From getting the sort of the business off the ground to where it is now, and in an industry that is in theory it's like eat well, exercise, right? And it's sort of like, but then like it's never that simple. Like, in the same way, it's like I work with universities. It's like study, get a job. Like it shouldn't be as hard as it is, but there's so much like of the mind. Yeah, you know. So when it comes for you looking forward, when you're thinking, you know, rest of 2020 or the next year, 5 years, however, whatever timeframes you think in, is there a particular direction you see all your work going in, a particular clientele that you want to work more or less with, a sort of work you want to do more or less of, or is it like, I'm on the track, this is the right thing for me, I'm just going to go full steam ahead?
For me, I'm always wanting to do something more. So right now I've put myself through a 6-month prep for a bodybuilding competition. I've had a bunch of girls ask me to do comp prep with them. It's not something I've done before. There is no way I'm going to put someone through it when I haven't done it myself.
Yeah, wow.
So I'm now doing that. It is a very interesting project. I eat the same things a lot of the time, the same times of day. That is a very new thing for me. As I said, big about balance. So
pizza tattoo and whatnot.
New grueling. Oh, yeah. Literally. But yeah, that's going to be something that I'm going to be dwelling on, dealing with, so I can prep other people in it as well. My nutritional studies, I'm going to take a bit further so I can help people with macro coaching as well. It's super important and it really goes hand in hand. I'll still be working with dietitians to do that as well. And I'm going to try to tap into the online side of it. I get asked this multiple times daily. I'm just such a face-to-face person. As you can probably tell, I love connecting with people. Yes. So for me, it's about talking to people. We get that vibe. Like, I love that, as opposed to sitting for hours at a computer, writing out stuff and just sending it to with no personal touch. So it'll be figuring out how to do that in a personal way so people still get that connectivity and stuff from their computer.
Yes.
So, yeah, the whole online programming, macro coaching, and comp prep, they're my next goals written up on my mirror. Goal setting is such a big thing. I literally look at it every day. So, yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Have visual reminders. That's a big one. Visual reminders in a diary on my mirror. My partner looks at it every day. He's like, it literally takes up most of the mirror. He's like, oh, did you do this? And I'm like rubbing something up. I'm like, new goal.
New goal. Yeah. Emma, you're a rock star. This is epic. You're so good at this. If like, I plead for you to, however you do this, to do something live. And do you do anything live like this? Do you do a live show?
Really, no.
Oh my God, you would kill. Like, kill. So good. So good.
This is why you're so good at this. You just give people compliments the whole time.
No, seriously, like this would be, yeah. Anyway, you're killer. You don't need any business advice from me, but I just think it'd be such a cool medium. So where are you playing? Just so people can know. So if they want to follow you, obviously you're on Instagram is huge. So if people want to check you out on Instagram, I'm just going to scroll back up and show everybody that. Do you play with anything else? Are you TikToking? Are you Facebooking? Are you anything in that world?
I have a Facebook, but I would say that my content is majority on Instagram. Amber Marie PT. I also have a workout page that I'm about to start posting a bit more frequently as well. There's still already a bunch of workouts on it. It's under Amber Marie _PT _ workouts. I link it a lot of the time as well. So
workouts.
Yeah.
And that's
it'll be Amber Marie PT and then another underscore and then workouts. And it just has a few things, especially when we're in isolation. It would be like, there you
cool.
go. And it'd be like, so like macro coaching, different workouts. So all the ones with the leaf background are different workouts that people can do, some inspirational quotes and stuff like that as well.
Oh, cool.
So
Great.
they'll click through and there'll be little videos on how to do different things. And then people are welcome to message me to ask for any extra tips on form, etc. But yeah.
Unreal.
So that's my other little platform. TikTok, I've got one, but I've definitely have not been posting on it. Yes. I don't think I'm tech savvy enough to deal with that. Might collaborate with someone and they can do the tech side.
Seriously, I think you'd kill it. Yeah, big time. Effie, Emma, you're so great. It's been so nice to reconnect, and what a fun way to share some goodness with the world. Body, mind, and vibe, which I absolutely love. Thank you for your time today. You're amazing.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Awesome chatting with you. For everyone who's listened, tuned in, commented, sent messages about it, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We'll be live again from next week from episodes 41 to 45. I think we'll have Monday off because it's a Queen's birthday holiday, something like that. So episode 41 on Tuesday. You got to have a day off, it's important.
Exactly.
So we'll be kicking off from Tuesday. So we'll see you then. Thank you as always, and have a wonderful Friday and weekend. See you all. And thanks again, Amber.